Okay, good morning everyone. Last class we were discussing about marketing channels. So coming to B2B kind of channels, so we can see many B2B businesses exchanging products on e-marketplaces. All of you know so all of you might be knowing e-marketplaces like all of you know India Mart, no? India Mart is considered as e-marketplace, and similarly Alibaba.com. So today you can see like how we see retail outlets, physical retail outlets, B2B retail outlets like Metro Cash and Carry, Walmart's Best Price. So similar to B2C e-commerce places, e-marketplaces include Amazon, Flipkart, Myntra, all this. Similarly, B2B e-marketplaces include these. So like IndiaMart.com or Alibaba.com. So there are many B2B marketplaces which you see in online platforms. So here, parallelly, along with B2C kind of formats, you can see B2B also. They are opening up retail outlets physically as well as uh, online also. So why B2B exchanges need to take place on internet? Today you can see whether it is a consumer or a B2B buyer, whenever they want to buy any product, they search for a lot of information on internet as a platform. So today you can see even traditional distributors, they were forced to adopt this kind of model. So why? Because again, people are on the internet. So previously, when there was no internet, there is no other alternative except visiting various retail outlets, finding out information about price, physically seeing the product and all. So now with the internet in place, you can see even traditional. If you have seen for the last one and a half year, you can see for the last 5 years, lot of physical retail outlets getting into online space. So those who were selling only using e-commerce as a platform, they were also trying to get into physical retail outlet. All of you know pepperfry.com. What is pepperfry.com?
Furniture things.
Is a furniture retail outlet. So you can see they were selling furniture on online platform. So now they are establishing franchises in different cities. So they are called as a furniture studio kind of thing. So where you will be seeing certain furniture of pepperfry.com being displayed there. So if a customer is worried about quality of the product, he can visit the nearest studio and check the quality of the wood which is used for the product which you have ordered. So based on that, again you will be having 360-degree interaction with the concerned company personnel. Say suppose if you are in Vizag Pepperfry studio, you can interact with the corporate headquarters if you have any queries relating to the product which you want to procure, you can get your query resolved. So here, why again B2B marketplaces? Again, uh, companies want to get rid of intermediary within the supply chain. So why again, if you reduce more number of intermediaries, you can directly pass on the margin directly to the consumer or buyer who buys your product. So here you can see within B2B exchanges which are taking place on internet. So here you can see even exchanges, private exchanges with the suppliers are automated in the supply chain. So like whatever transactions are happening between the buying organization and selling organization, it gets automated. Automated because you are exchanging products on using internet as a platform. So coming to alternate channels, along with these channels, you have we are in the era like talking about multiple channels. So even retailing, you can see we are talking about multi-channel retailing. So here you can see other alternate channels include multi-channels, non-traditional channels. So till date also you can see whatever channels which we have seen in recent times. Along with that, non-traditional channels are also existing. So what are non-traditional channels? We have discussed in earlier classes, like non-traditional channels can include Haats, Melas, Mandis, or you can see PDS system. All these are non-traditional channels. So along with new channels which are existing for carrying out business. So you in many cases you can see non-traditional channels are also retained till date. So we never anticipated that a channel like Haats will happen in very big cities like Hyderabad and all. The third one is strategic channel alliances. So you can see strategic channel alliances, whatever. So here strategic channel alliances are nothing but along with the traditional channels like distributors, wholesalers, retailers and all. You will be seeing for smooth functioning of channel intermediaries, you will be entering into strategic partnerships for certain activities within channels of distribution. So these activities can be in terms of entering alliance for third party logistics, like that. So coming to marketing channel decisions, so these are called as channel strategy decisions. So many a times you can see what kind of channel to use to distribute a particular product. So again, these channel decisions are affected by certain factors. Say FMCG might be requiring different channel structure, consumer durables might be requiring different channel structure. So if you have to distribute pharma products, you may be requiring different channel structure. If you have to distribute medical equipment, so you may be requiring different channel structure. So you can see high-end medical equipment are distributed directly also. So coming to factors affecting channel structure, it includes market factors. So based on product factors and producer factors. So here, what channel structure to select? Again, it is affected by these three factors. Again, if we think of product factors based on the nature of the product, characteristics of the product, so you will be deputing various kinds of channel intermediaries. So coming to distribution intensity. What is distribution intensity? So intensity of distribution. So if you talk about FMCG products, so you require high intensity of distribution. So when it is consumer durables, you may be seeing medium or low intensity of distribution. Again, intensity of distribution is dependent on consumption, frequency of purchase, usage pattern. So if we compare these factors to that of FMCG products, you can see FMCG products are consumed highly. Frequency is they procure on continuous basis. They are procured frequently. So usage is also very high in case of FMCG products. So here there are various kinds of distribution intensity. So here So here, intensive distribution, FMCG sector follows in intensive distribution. Selective distribution, what is selective distribution? So for example, shampoo to that of Apple mobile. So which is available highly, which requires intensive distribution. Which requires intensive distribution.
Shampoo.
So shampoo requires intensive distribution. Apple might be requiring selective distribution. So if you check about Apple products being made available in various set of mobile handset retailers, so you will be seeing only in selective outlets when it is coming to Apple products. So exclusive distribution is, so these products are sold only through exclusive dealer network. Say initially some of these products are also getting into multi branded retail outlet. For example, all of you might be knowing Bombay Dyeing. So Bombay Dyeing apparel stores. So Bombay Dyeing, they are called as exclusive outlets. So till date also you can see exclusiveness is maintained by certain reputed corporates like Bata. So whatever Bata related shoes, chappals being sold in Bata exclusive outlets, you will not be able to buy Bata shoes in other stores other than Bata. So intensive distribution, selective in few outlets, exclusive is only those set of outlets. So coming to market factors, what are market factors? It includes, we have discussed in earlier classes like what is market size, what is market growth and all. So here when we have to understand what is affecting channel choice, it includes customer profiles. What are customer profiles? Who is buying your product? Say suppose the customer profile for Nexa is different to that of normal Maruti cars. So which kind of customers prefer uh, uh, these Nexa kind of vehicles is maybe high income or middle income group people. So here if you see for Alto 800, you will be seeing different segments altogether. So customer profiles vary between Nexa and normal Maruti related products. So here market factors include customer profiles, consumer or industrial customer. So you know the difference between who is consumer and who is industrial customer. So if a steel plant is buying iron ore, so they are considered as industrial customer. So coming to market factors, which include uh, size of market. What is size of market? The size of market.
Size of market means how many people are purchasing that product.
So market size is total volume of business happening to a of a particular brand or product. So size of market is, for example, if Visakhapatnam is consuming say 150 crores cement. So 150 crores is size of market. So whoever is able to sell cement, so they should be taking share from this 150 crores on. So that is total volume of business happening in a particular market. So here, size of market for cement is this. For every product, you will be having certain volume happening in a particular market. So that is called as size of market. So other factors which affect channel choices is geographic location. So where you want to distribute your product. So these are the four market factors which affect channel choice: customer profiles, consumer or industrial customer whom you are going to serve your product. Is it consumer or industrial product, industrial user or industrial customer? So size of market. So if your market size is very high, and your market share is also very high, so you may have to appoint more channel members to service the market. So based on geographic location also, you channel choice varies. Say for example, if there is a small market where company does not want to service retailers directly, so you suggest the existing distributor in the nearest town to have one sub distributor under him. So sometimes though sub distributors, sub stockists are not under the control of direct company. So in order to capture some market share or increase availability, so they may incentivize sub stockists or sub dealers also through the dealer. So some kind of target based incentive and all. So based on volumes achieved. So coming to product factors. So product factors include, we have discussed like complexity of the product, how easily the product can be handled. Certain products you can see, you can buy and you can use it on your own. So certain products when you buy, you may be requiring product demo. Some certain products when you buy, they may be requiring, you will be getting in bits and pieces, they have to be assembled. So when you order for furniture on pepperfry.com, so you will be getting the furniture in bits and pieces. So that will get assembled through the locally available vendor whom they have tie up. So product factors which affect channel choice include complexity of the product price. Based on the price of the product, you will be deputing channel members. Product standardization. So what is the difference between standardization and customization? What is standardization?
Like standardization means there'll be a fixed structure, but
Yes.
customization means
So
we can.
if you are buying say 38 size Louis Philippe shirt, it is standardized product. So if you are buying birthday cake which is already prepared by the bakery, you are procuring it. It is standardized cake. So when you are ordering and you have some preferences to be done relating to the birthday cake, so that is called as customization. So based on whether the product is standardized or is it to be customized, so based on that also you will be having channel choices. So based on at which stage the product is in the product life cycle, you will be having varying product channel choices. So product delicacy, what is product delicacy?
Delicate.
So delicacy is so how easily we can handle product. So there is lot of difference between a channel member handling bath soaps to that of ice cream or frozen foods. So delicacy is, so sometimes if you mishandle them, there are high chances of product getting damaged. So you have a lot of difference between handling plasticware to that of glassware. So you have a lot of products which is made out of glass. So based on this also channel choice varies. So you can see again when it is coming to glassware kind of thing, say for example, Saint Gobain. Saint Gobain, they may be having distributors for this glass distribution. So you will be seeing multiple hardware shops selling glass also. You will be seeing distribution. At the same time, whoever is selling highly. So if the glass sales is very high from 4 5 dealers, so sometimes they'll be getting the consignment directly to the dealer outlets in the name of the locally available distributor. So when you are trying to dump this glass at multiple places, you can see again, based on the size of the glass, again, they need to be handled properly. If you don't handle properly, again, you can see you'll be seeing lot of damages. So all of you know, when it is coming to glass packaging, how it is packed. So you'll be seeing lot of wooden panels around that. So all of you know pallets, no?
Yes, sir.
So similar to that, you have wooden frames around the glass. So like how you get your photo framed, so through the locally available carpenter, something like that. Similar to that, the total, if it is in square or rectangle shape, the total glass is surrounded by wood. So again, when they are downloading this glass, they will try to touch on the wooden panel. Then they will be downloading the glass into outlets. So producer factors include what all resources the producer has. Say here, producer is nothing but a manufacturer. So number of product lines which he has. What is product line?
Product manufacturing.
Line. Say HUL, what are product lines? So detergent is one product line. So similarly, ice creams might be, quality ice cream might be another product line. So based on number of product lines available, based on that also you will have channel choice. So sometimes you can see the same company, if they are having multiple product lines, sometimes you may have separate distributors. So when you take example of ITC, say for ITC, you have all FMCG products, you have one distributor. So you have separate distributor for stationery products, you have separate distributor for ITC tobacco related products, ITC cigarettes. So based on number of product lines available, you will be having varying channel choices. Based on desire for channel control, so whether you want to control channel intermediaries fully or to certain extent. So if you want to have full control on channel intermediary, sometimes you may have to depute more sales executives to have closer relationship with various channel members. So based on desire for channel control, certain distribution you can see sometimes company will interact with them once in a month or twice in a month, like that. So certain products you may have to interact with channel partner at least twice a day or thrice a day. In case of FMCG distribution, you might be knowing they have to report daily sales. So every day they may have to give basic statistics like what is the opening stock, what sale has happened today, and what kind of what is the closing stock available with them. Is there any indent which he needs to order? So coming to intensity of distribution, we have discussed what is intensive distribution. It is nothing but if you want to make your product available in every outlet, then you have to follow intensive distribution. And if you want your product to be made available in very few places, it is called as selective distribution. So here, if you want your product to be made available with few dealers, so then it is called as exclusive distribution. So here you can understand from this table what is intensive distribution. So when you are catering to mass markets, selling convenience goods, like FMCG products. All these they have they follow intensive distribution. So when you talk about having intermediaries, channel partners, you will be seeing many. So when you have to cater to mass markets, you need to have more channel members. Selective is, so here you will be working with selected intermediaries. Say selective distribution, example for specialty goods. If you just compare Himalaya Fairness Cream to that of Glow and Lovely of HUL, so you might be knowing the difference. So Glow and Lovely might be available in even the smallest pawn shop, but Himalaya Fairness Cream might not be available everywhere. So that might be considered as specialty goods. So here selective distribution. So you will be having many intermediaries. So selective distribution. So since your product is actually this is wrong, you will be having very few intermediaries in case of selective distribution. And exclusive is you will be working with single intermediary, like if you have exclusive dealers for Bombay dyeing, if there are 5-6 outlets within Visakhapatnam, so you will be dealing with those people. So number of intermediaries, you will be seeing only one intermediary in case of exclusive distribution. So coming to channel relationships. So what is channel relationship? How well they are licensing with their set of channel intermediaries. So you will be seeing various kinds of channel relationships existing. So one is arm's length relationship. So here you are very close with this kind of channel intermediaries. So here, when you maintain arm's length relationship, so there are certain benefits as well as hazards to this kind of relationship. So when you have arm's length relationship, you can see you will be able to fulfill unique needs of the distributors. And since you are interacting on a continuous basis with the channel members, so here risk is reduced. So in case of hazards in arm's length relationship, so here the channel intermediaries are unable to develop relationship, so they'll be having low trust levels. So many a times you can see whenever relationship is maintained with the set of distributors, so some distributors may trust the company, some distributors may not trust the company. So coming to cooperative relationship. So cooperative is, it's a kind of formal contract without capital investment. So here you can see which kind of channel intermediaries you find cooperative relationship is, agents or brokers. So here in case of integrated relationship, so you will be seeing relationships existing between the company and various channel intermediaries. Is the screen visible?
Yes, sir.
So integrated relationship
Sir,
is nothing.
now it's not visible, sir.
So integrated relationship is you will be maintaining close bonded relationship. So here in case of integrated relationship here for the channel member is, so there is high level of investment made by the channel member, and failure to achieve the objectives of channel member could affect every channel member. So here, in case of integrated relationship, many a times you can see, since you are closely integrated with various set of channel members, so they invest a lot of money on distribution related aspects. So here, it is the responsibility of the company to take care of his investment. So violation of this may uh, lead to losing relationship with set of channel members which you own. So coming to uh, social dimensions of channel members. So here you have certain channel members, you will be entering into conflict with channel members. We have discussed if a particular channel member is trying to enter into other distributor area, then conflict occurs. So coming to social dimensions of channel members. So why a particular channel member is interested in distributing a particular product? So again, these are social dimensions of channel members, which includes power. Say, what is power here? If you are a distributor of reputed company, so many a times you might have seen, if you are a dealer of say Audi cars, so many a times you will be able to exhibit some kind of power being a distributor of a very reputed company. So you will be having control over the market. You will be able to achieve leadership position, and uh, conflicts occur within distribution channels. So you are trying to partner with very reputed company. So having partnership that may lead you to enter into other businesses also. So many a times, if you are a dealer of RD cars, so if there is another company which is trying to give you some other distribution, so again, being a dealer for RD cars will make you to enter a partnership with the other reputed companies products also. So coming to channel power, so here you can see, with channel power in place, you will be able to control or influence the behavior of other channel members. So here, if you are a reputed channel member distributing a particular product, you will be able to exhibit this. Uh, so channel control is, so it is a situation where you have control over other members' behavior. Say here, it can be retailer or other channel members. Channel leader is, uh, so here, channel leader is a person who exhibits authority or power over the activities of other members. Say, for example, when there are 5, 6 distributors, again, within these distributors, you will be seeing certain players taking a lead role, and they are trying to influence or exhibit authority over the activities of other members also. So channel conflict. So what is channel conflict? So it is nothing but a clash of goals and methods between distribution channel members. So when does a channel conflict occurs? So conflicts occur if channel members have conflicting goals, fail to fulfill expectations of other channel members. So if you have differences in terms of what is promised by the company, what is actually executed, and have different perceptions of reality. Say sometimes if company is giving you certain target to be achieved, so few channel members will say okay for that, few channel members will be against the achievement of target. So generally, conflict is channel conflict is nothing but differences which they see between channel member to channel member or with the company. So here channel partnering is nothing but joint effort of channel members to create a channel that serves customers and creates competitive advantage. So here, whenever you are trying to do this channel partnering, so the end result is to create convenience for the customer to serve the customer in the best possible manner, and which will also create competitive advantage. What is competitive advantage?
The advantage which we get when we are having a competition between same sector.
So advantage which you get over others in terms of sometimes you have unique product. So unique product is not available with the other company. So Apple has unique advantage like design of the product. So technology inserted in the product, that is called as competitive advantage for the Apple products. So here, if you have certain competitive advantages, you will be able to speed up inventory replenishment. So that is delivering the product for various channel partners, improve customer service, and reduce total costs of marketing channel. So here you can see inventory replenishment is sending goods as per customer requirements and improving customer service. All this will lead to reducing costs relating to marketing channel. So next topic is sales promotion and personal selling.
Yes.
So what is sales promotion? All of you know sales promotion is a kind of marketing communication. So you have difference between advertising and sales promotion. So what is the difference between advertising and sales promotion? What is advertising?
Advertising means showing about the product, reaching the to reach the customers.
So when you have to understand what is advertising, is advertising paid or unpaid?
Paid.
So advertising is considered as any paid form of non-personal presentation and promotion of ideas, goods and services by an identified sponsor. So again, when you are advertising in either print media or electronic media, again you have to pay for that. So that's why it is called as any paid form of, again, advertising. If you are advertising on print or electronic media or digital media, it is not reaching in person. So that's why it is called as non-personal presentation and promotion of ideas, goods and services by an identified sponsor. So this is called as advertising. So when you have to understand what is sales promotion, so sales promotion is a kind of marketing communication activity. So other than advertising, personal selling and public relation. So here, most of the sales promotions are done to create some kind of sales for short term. So whenever we see any sales promotion, a discount offer published in a newspaper, so immediately you can see customers trying to rush to the nearest outlet and procure those products. So that's why when we have to understand what is sales promotion, so it's a kind of marketing communication related activity which is other than advertising, personal selling, and public relation. So it's a kind of short term incentive which motivates a purchase. So if you see 60% discount on a particular product, even on e-commerce platform, so you can see a lot of sales promotions happening on a continuous basis. Sometimes you can see on e-commerce platform there is some kind of price of given named as happy hours. So happy hours can be somewhere around 10 to morning 6 a.m. something like that. So here when we have to understand the difference between advertising and sales promotion. So advertising will make a customer to understand what is the reason for buying a particular product. Sales promotion, you are getting something extra, no? So sales promotion will make you to understand it is a kind of incentive to buy. So if you are getting, say, if you are buying, say, staples, leaving all physical retail outlet or leaving all these outlets, you are buying from GeoMart. So you are able to get some kind of incentive uh, for buying from a particular e-commerce portal. So why customers are preferring buying on Amazon, even if you want to buy a mobile? So why you are preferring Amazon versus other physical retail outlet? You are able to get some kind of incentive when you buy from these e-commerce portals. So sales promotion is considered as an incentive to buy a particular product. Advertising is considered as a reason to buy a particular product. So here, when we have to understand various kinds of sales promotions, we have discussed promotions occur both at the dealer level and at the consumer level. So you will be seeing sales promotions targeted on consumers. So those are called as consumer sales promotions. So activities which are targeted on ultimate consumer. So if consumer is getting incentive, it is called as consumer sales promotion. So trade sales promotion, so these activities are targeted on channel intermediaries such as wholesaler or retail. Say if you are getting say 20% extra product, it's a consumer promotion. So if the dealer is getting some kind of freebies along with the product, say if he buys 24 Cadbury's 5-star chocolates, he is given 3 chocolates extra. So that is called as trade sales promotion. So if you are getting 20% extra on 10 rupees 5-star chocolate, that is consumer sales promotion. So coming to objectives of sales promotion. So here many a times you can see sales promotions are not done just like that. So there are certain objectives which they need to achieve through sales promotion. Say again, you can see whenever there are sales promotions, you will be seeing all set of customers buying products based on the promotions offered. So if you are targeting loyal customers, so why you need to give sales promotion is, so why you need to offer sales promotions to loyal customers? It is just to reinforce behavior. What is reinforcing?
Getting it back again.
So in spite of companies' products being very popular like Coke or Pepsi, Cadbury's, why they are advertising again is it is to reinforce into consumers' mind that they are there. So we are available, something like that. So here, loyal customers, why sales promotion? It is to reinforce behavior. So to buy the same product, increase consumption is one aspect of sales promotion. Change purchase timing. So here, suppose if you are planning to buy a particular product after 15 days, with sales promotion, that will make you to advance your purchase by 1 2 weeks before itself. So these are the objectives of sales promotion targeted on loyal customers. It is to reinforce behavior, increase consumption, change purchase timing. So examples here is loyalty marketing. So when you have loyal customers, so if you are trying to, loyal customers are the customers who procure the same product on a continuous basis from the same set of retailers. So here, if you are giving something extra to loyal customers, that is part of loyal marketing. And if you are giving some kind of bonus packs to these customers, so these are part of examples of sales promotion. So sales promotions are also done to attract competitors customers. So you can see here competitors customers. So here, if a customer is with the particular company's product or retailer, so here you are trying to break loyalty and persuade to switch. So what is switching of customer is, so if a person is continuously using a particular two wheeler, say you are fond of Hero Motors all the time, so with the high amount of sales promotion, so they are able to make you switch from buying Hero vehicle towards Honda vehicle. So sales promotions will also help companies to persuade to switch the customer from buying uh, their company's product over other competitor products. So examples of competitors customers, many times you can see samples are distributed. Sampling is, you can see lot of FMCG product samples are distributed. So again, sampling cannot be for high value products like two wheeler and all. So sampling is done only for FMCG kind of products and low value products. So you can see sampling of, say if you are planning to launch a new face cream, you might have seen a lot of samples are distributed. Sometimes you can see they are attached to a particular magazine, film fair magazine, something like that. So that will make you to use that particular product. If you are satisfied, you try to search for that product from the nearest outlet. So you'll be seeing a lot of sweepstakes, contests, premiums being organized. So if you are a competitor's customer, you will be seeing a lot of contests being organized by the respective companies. Next is brand switchers, who are called as brand switchers.
Like
So
customers.
you will be persuading other customers to buy your brand more often. So here, if a particular customer is using a particular brand, so you, with your sales promotion, you are trying to persuade him to switch towards your brand. So how this is done is by low price lowering, promotion, or trade deals. Next is how you tackle price bias. So here, these are called as price sensitive customers. How you can tackle these customers is appeal with low prices. So appealing with low prices makes them to buy your product. Supply added value. So giving something extra along with the product. So how this is done is to cater to price sensitive customers. So many a times you can see they are done in the form of coupons, price of packages, refunds, trade deals. So you can see coupons are being distributed to this set of customers. Sometimes you will be getting coupons in the form of mail. Sometimes coupons, physical coupons are dispatched to this set of customers. So tools which are part of consumer sales promotion is, these are the tools. Coupons and rebates, premiums, we'll be discussing in detail in next class. Loyalty marketing programs, contests, sweepstakes, sampling, point of purchase promotion, online sales promotion. Okay, thank you.